All right. It's my second vlog, a global learning project for the second engagement. I'm going to talk about how I felt prior to going to B-Dubs. I wasn't really nervous for interacting with her. We've talked before. The first interaction went pretty well, so I didn't really have very many concerns for the next one. The only concern I thought might make it a little boring for her is if she didn't know basketball or just didn't like basketball as much, but that ended up not being the case, and we were only there for like the first half anyways, because we got there early to get a table and stuff. During the interaction, we first started talking about school. Neither of us like going to class because of the cold. She said winters here are a lot worse than in the Netherlands. Also, we talked about how like what it's like to be both an athlete and an international student, because I thought that was kind of a unique situation to be in. And she was comparing it to like Greek life. Our mutual friend Emma's in Greek life, and she said like not like similar in the way it is, but just like how it's a subculture of MSU, like being an athlete is, and then being an international student, just kind of like, I don't know, that's just like two kind of differences between you and like every other student at MSU. For the most part, her behaviors, I guess, were pretty normal. I didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary, or I don't know. I was surprised at how much she knew about basketball, but she has been here for 2 years, so plus this is a basketball school. It's kind of hard to avoid basketball. Although it's not a very popular sport in the Netherlands. I learned that from her. She got pretty into the game too, as well as me, because it was pretty intense. MSU wasn't doing so hot. They were, but it was just made me nervous. That's leading to how I was feeling during the event. Nervous about the basketball game. I was pretty interested when we were talking about the athlete and or her being an athlete and the perks of being one. She said it's like different if you're a field hockey player, because it's not really like a sport that generates a bunch of income like basketball or football. So like they get a little more perks than say a field hockey student would, but they get like tutoring and stuff like that, and I thought that was pretty interesting to talk about. We also talked about how like in the Netherlands sports and school are separate, and that differs from here, because like throughout high school, throughout middle school, like you play on your school's sports teams, and not like over there they have clubs and stuff, which there are clubs for certain sports here, but like it's comparable to the soccer system here, I guess, but still like there's soccer connected to schools as well. I thought that was I don't know, I kind of think it's a good thing, maybe. I'm not really sure. Like us having school, like it can be a little, or school and sports combined, it can be a little distracting, but I feel like it gives people opportunities to like more people opportunities to play. But with the system that they have over there, you can get compensated for being a professional athlete at like 16. So that's pretty good first job that's available, and you can't really do that here because you would be an amateur. And that, or you, yeah. Okay, connecting it to class. So, talking about how my partner is not only an international student but an athlete as well. That makes her part of two different sort of subcultures here at MSU. Although I'm not really sure that being an international student is like a subculture, but like it's just something added to like separate her from other people at the school. And I think it's important for her to like be successful at a school or here is like she has to be ethno relative, or like there's no way she could be ethnocentric and like make a bunch of new friends and stuff when everybody, or like most of the people she's gonna meet, have a different culture than her. So she definitely had to do the concept of adaptation and integration, which are both parts of becoming, or like the ethno-relative perspective. And I just think it would be very hard to do well at MSU in her situation, especially if you can't relate to other cultures and understand that there are different ways to do things, and being able to integrate into those cultures is very important to do well and like to be a part of MSU as a community. Some small insights about culture and education. She talked about traveling in Europe and how that like she would, like, the cultures in Europe are like much more, there's a lot more variety in cultures in a smaller area than here. And I just thought that makes for like a pretty interesting life where like she can go from country to country where cultures vary so much without a passport or anything because of the EU. And I think that helped further like become more ethno-relative, because just being in an area where you can see so many more cultures, and they're so much more accessible, it gets you used to like maybe integrating into different cultures and stuff like that, or at least seeing them. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for listening.